I don't know why this town is so green. It's got this like ghostly green hue to it. Don't really see it anywhere else in the game. Like, I feel like I've been somewhat thorough exploring the game. I mean, not this run, but just like in previous runs going through the game. Never seen this like greenish blue anywhere before. But this is another, well, normally with Everjails, it's like you go in and then there's like a circle. There's like the inner circle and then there's like an outer ring. And once you touch the outer ring, then you fight a boss. Not doing that here. This is kind of like a puzzle. I mean, puzzle, quote unquote. Because it's kind of like a combat, like Solid Snake thing. Where it's like, I've never played a Solid Snake game, but it's like half hiding from the enemies, half getting the objective. And you're kind of discouraged from fighting. Which, I think that's pretty cool. Because this entire series is just endless fighting. This game, there's a bit more exploration, but in general, a lot of fighting. Now, Sentry's Torch. Again, you can see the black knives. I know there's one that walks up and down this path. I think even when you're holding it, they have to get within a certain distance for you to be able to actually see them. And usually I don't see them when I'm coming this way, but when I'm going back, I spot them. Doop. And yeah, there are 4 of these things. We gotta light them. Doo 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 doo. Yeah, there he is. Hello. They kinda suck. I mean, and then there's another one here, which is why we do this one last. And you just stand up here and you're safe. For some reason, it like doesn't know how to jump up, but I guess they never needed to learn. But yeah, directly under us is where we got the Black Knife set, and doing that opens up a seal here to let us get to this, and that takes us to Miquella's Haligtree. Again, I don't think you need to go get Latenna in order to actually get here, but the Elbenorcs come a looking for this place because they think it's safety. Yep. And that's why we got the Site of Grace and drank that. I don't know why, but this game really loves to launch you off. it really loves to just throw you. Max speed. Yeah, there's like that little drop there. And for some reason, with that little drop, you either go straight down or you go straight out. Also, there's this. I haven't really looked at these the entire time. You can get it, and then summoning pool is now functional. And then you can summon people here. That's for co-op. I don't do them for challenge runs. That's part of the rule set that I follow. Again, different people can have different rules for challenge runs. And like I have the 3 main rules that I follow that I put in the description every time. But I have a few extra like unwritten rules that I don't see as like worthy of writing down, but they are followed nonetheless. And it's like no co-op is one of them. I do use ashes, but not co-op. Also, you can drop down there, and that lets you get up to where that guy is. The giant one blowing those bubbles. And you can actually get his weapon. The giant one. I think it's a colossal weapon. You can only get it from 2 enemies, both of which are up there in the tree. And it sucks because you have to get through several enemies to get to them. And even once you get through the several enemies, they have a lot of health and a lot of poise. I did one run using those, like those 3 weapons, the envoy weapons, the horns. Is the guy over there good? He's kind of freaking out. I'm not sure if he's good. But anyways. I did it as a New Game Plus run. Ow. Ow. And I actually almost didn't do it. Simply because the colossal weapon, the like 3rd and final one, took way too long to grind. It took... I don't remember how long it took, but it was a good like 40 kills on the 2nd attempt. Because I had like attempt number 1 of trying to get it. It took too long. And so I took a break and then came back and it took an extra like 40 kills. And I'm glad that I did do it because there are some weapons that are just super, super, super powerful, but you'll never know unless you actually use them. And both the colossal weapon and the great hammer one that the like big ones use, but not the massive ones. Both of them are really good. The middle one that the like big but not colossal guys use is better and way easier to get. I got it after like 5 kills. Which, yeah, very... I'm not gonna say very, but like a lot more common. Which... grinding in this game is very weird, because you can check the wiki, and the wiki will say like, oh, 4%. And it'll feel very not 4%. Like, sometimes it'll feel like 30%. And sometimes it'll feel like 0%. And final block. But like in the other games, it felt like you had an actual chance to get things. So it'd be like, you need to kill it. You need to kill an enemy like, say, 20, 30 times maybe to get something. But, I mean, usually not. Or at least sometimes not. Sometimes you can get something within 1 or 2 attempts. And things were somewhat common. If they weren't common, they were fairly easy to grind. And it was great. In this game, or so like in Dark Souls 3, because again, it's the game I play the most in the Souls series, like out of just 1, 2, and 3. I really like the Cathedral Knight set. And it's not uncommon for me to grind the Cathedral Knight set because I really like it. And when I do grind it, it'll take me like maybe an hour. Maybe 2 hours if I'm like having a bad day. Like either I'm dying more than I probably should, or if like I just have particularly bad luck that day. But usually only like an hour. In this game, like with the Colossal Envoy weapon, like with the Duelist set, it can take me several hours. It can take a really long time. And usually, not always, but usually in this game, the things that the enemies drop aren't even, like, they aren't even as good as the things you can get more easily. So it's like, let's say that there's a hammer, and there's a hammer that you can just, like, pick up or buy, and then there's another hammer that you can grind off off of an enemy. The hammer that you can pick up, guaranteed easy, is probably better than the hammer you'd have to grind. Which I have never gotten this guy to aggro onto me before. That's interesting to see. Because again, it never happened. Nope, that's the cannon. I don't want to get shot by that. Because it does a lot of damage and knocks back. Nope. Please don't. But yeah, it's like the thing that you can get guaranteed in Elden Ring is usually better and also easier to get. Which is wild to me. Because it's like, why would you even put in the effort to go and grind something if it takes way more time, way more effort, and is probably worse? Whereas in Dark Souls, like on the normal basic tutorial enemies, well, I don't want to say tutorial enemies, but on the enemies in like the first area, like Lothric Castle, or the High Wall of Lothric, they call it. Like, yeah, it's probably not as good as the stuff you can just buy. But like, the Cathedral Knights, their stuff is way better than what you can buy. And it's not even that hard to grind. And so, there's an incentive for you to go out and grind. But in Elden Ring, it doesn't really have that. Unless it's a few specific things. Like the second tier Oracle weapon. Hi. Hello. Oh. I forgot about FP. Ooh. Interesting. I don't think I'm gonna win this one. Like, I think this might be one of them just a bad runs. I mean, honestly, it might just be a full-on bad day. Considering how today has gone so far for me. It's like, woke up sick, got something else. So, it was like 2 different kinds of sickness. Had a headache. And then, like, internet cut out. So... Please don't. Okay, thank you. Whoop. Nice. The game actually let me dodge one. Out. That was just a bad dodge on my part. Okay. Hugoos, get some attention, please. Thank you. Oh, Hugo's dead. Oh, I failed the dodge. For a second, I thought I was, like, inside of... Or I don't know, I'm gonna go, Please tell me I'm not gonna, like, fall through the map or something. Okay. Nope. Nope. Okay. Ow. Okay. Ow. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, probably not gonna win that one. Yeah, this is the point in the game where, I mean, this isn't why I died, but this is the point of the game where low defensive armor set is really gonna start taking its toll. I should probably be using the gavel instead of the cannon. I mean, I tried it once when I was out of range. That can be easily melodied by walking forward. But whew. I just need to get rid of some of the brain fog. Some of the, like, just started playing brain fog. Hi. Yep, there it is. I was gonna say, I know they're doing a second attack, so I'm not going to attack. But then, they didn't do a second attack right away. Oop. Hello. Ow. I mean, it didn't do that much damage. Hi. Yep, there it is. Bonk. Nope. Sorry, but I have to get through you. Is that going after me? It is. Yes. Uh-oh. Oh my god! Look at that health. Just all of that health gone in a single attack. And thank you for stopping that bow. Ow. Ow. Again, I swear they changed how the poise works in this game. As compared to, like, the normal Dark Souls games. Because if an enemy hits me in Dark Souls, I can just roll away from it. If it's a really big, heavy attack, it might take a second, but I can roll away from it. But in Elden Ring, if an enemy hits me, I better just accept that I'm going to get hit again. Because that's what's going to happen. Almost all the time. I mean, there are some exceptions, especially with some of the weaker enemies, but any enemy that hits moderately hard, they hit you once, they're probably hitting you twice. Which sucks. And it's like, I've even tried having high poise, it doesn't help. I would love if it did. I feel like poise was another thing that was changed in this game. because it just feels like I never have poison in this game. Even if I'm wearing, like, the most defensive set I can find. Alright, yeah. That was just bad dodges on my part. This might take a few tries. Just from a mix of... I'm not, like, full-on sick yet. But it's clear that it's getting there. It's like your body gears up to get sick, and you can feel it before it actually hits you. And I don't know for other people, but for me, it starts with just brain fog. That should have hit me, but okay. Again, this is the Souls game of free L's and free W's. That probably should have hit me, but whatever. Bonk. I mean, at least the challenge run is feeling like a challenge now. There we go. Yeah, I failed that dodge, so... Okay. Keep Loretta on the back foot. Oh, I thought it was gonna go for me. Apparently not. No. No. Now, the reason... Ow. That... Okay. But the reason why it looks like I can just get a free hit on them, but I'm just not, is because, again, I spend half the bosses just staring at my health bar, or my stamina bar, just to make sure that I always have stamina. And then I rely on, like, audio cues and just intuition on when to dodge. And then I'll also glance at the boss, because I know that the boss is always going to be on screen since I lock onto them. But I just use audio cues for the most part. Wrong flask. That might end this fight later on. I was looking at the boss there, that probably should have hit me. Again. Like I said, the boss hits you... This is specifically an Elden Ring issue. The boss hits you once, they hit you twice. Period, done, end of story. Because they will hit you, and you will be stunned for so long that they just get a free second hit on you. And that simply does not happen in the other games. Or at least, it doesn't happen in Bloodborne. Doesn't happen in Dark Souls 3. And I don't think it should happen here. Because it feels very cheap. Like, that's what it is. It feels cheap. But... alright. If you can... if you start off close enough... if you start that off close enough... then... okay. But yeah, if they start that bow attack... Jesus Christ. I said it before, I'll say it again. Infinite FP. Enemies will sometimes just spam magic. That probably should have hit me, but okay, this is the game of 3 L's and 3 W's. And that's what happens when you get greedy. Oh boy. Oh thank God, they only did it once. Because it is a pain when they just spam the same ranged magic move like 5 times, and then you're just like, well, gotta dodge, well, gotta dodge, well, gotta dodge, well, gotta dodge, well, gotta dodge. But you fight Loretta once before in Caria Manor, and she's got a lot of new moves here, and you get a stronger version of the bow. Before you got the 1-shot, here you get the 4-shot. And you also get her weapon, which, oh, that's very nice. There used to be a visual glitch here where I think the visual was here, but you actually sat here, or vice versa. But it was funny to see. I took a screenshot of it. I mean, we're on 33 minutes. I was hoping to get at this point by like 17. But I mean, good to see the challenge being a challenge. Even if I have to get sick for it to be a challenge. You can jump onto these and that lets it fall down. But I mean, the challenge, like this challenge run, is going to be a challenge eventually. Naturally, I know. Because, like, there's Melania, who I'm probably going to fight. Because she's one of the bosses that I haven't fought very much. Nope. Oh. Odd. No. Oh, wait. Did Great Glintstone Shard do as much damage as the Gavel? Is that what I saw there? I think that's what I may have saw there. But whatever, you're dead. Clean Rot Knight Sword. Neat. And now Millicent is here. Hello. And this is the final part where she tells you what she wants.
Again we meet. I can only surmise our purposes are aligned. In which case, allow me to explain myself. I am of Melania's blood, but in what capacity? Whatever the case.
So basically she's saying that she needs to die.
There is something I must return to Melania. The will that was once her own. The dignity, the pride
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get back to that. Now, I don't care to do the math on how much FP I need to get like an even number of Great Glintstone shards, gavels, and cannons. I don't care to do the math right now. And so that's why I'm just dumping levels into FP. Now, that, I believe, heals them. I want to see if it does. Doesn't really look like it. This guy just dropped a Smithing Stone 7. He's a normal enemy. And he just dropped a Smithing Stone 7. Those little sword guys will explode themselves for some reason. Spear guys, easy to take out. This guy you want to wallop because he's got the horn on the side. Now that's a putrid avatar. Again, there was one way back in Landell, and it spawns on like the main road, and I said, imagine if every single time it did the jump attack, you just had to move back like 30 or 40 feet. Yeah, same idea. It's just like, it's not a small road per se, but that thing is so big that it takes up almost the entire road. And yeah, so every time it jumps, you just need to move back. And once you get to a certain health percentage, it's like 50 or 60% health. Once you get to a certain range, it'll just start using its like slam spawn the projectile attack. And so it'll do the jump attack, which forces you away, and then it'll do the slam attack, which forces you to spam roll to the side. And it's like, that's just what the second half of the fight is. Ow. Probably gonna dodge that, but... oh well. So... you're to you. So what I usually do is I get to here, and then I go down this pillar, and I drop down onto, like, the square thing, and then drop down onto the bridge, where I can fight them. Because that's pretty early on, you only have to get past a few enemies. And it gives you a nice... ow. I mean, that's a great sword guy. I really should have dodged. But I mean... honestly, I deserve that. I do not respect the greatsword enough. It is the greatest of all weapon classes. And I treat them not with the respect they deserve. I treat them as if they were normal weapons. But Miquellan Knight Sword. It's just like a normal straight sword. Well, with some little fanciness added onto it. Because why not? Like, functionally, don't think it's really different from just the normal longsword. But, dude. Yeah, we can go this way. First, we're going to cannon that corner. Because of that guy. No. And we can jump out onto here. And if you go down into there, there's a few Millennia Knights. And you can drop down onto that and drop down onto a section below that. And you can get a Seedbed Curse. Which is nice. But also then you have to... Oh wait, you're a greatsword enemy. No. Again, normal enemy, smithing stone 7. Now, Millennia Knight. Now there's no reason whatsoever for me to fight them, but I'm going to anyways. For one simple reason. They're protecting a chest. Nope. But they're protecting a chest. Dude, Cleaner Knight Finlay. So now you can get a Cleaner Knight on your side. Which, the term clean rod is very weird to me. It's like, rod... Don't think rod is very clean. Seedbed Curse. But it's like, don't think rod is very clean. And so, it's like, I don't know how those two things reconcile. I mean, glad they figured out a way to do it, but... Also, yeah, that is why we don't go the normal way. Excuse me. That's rude. I don't want any plants solar beaming me. Ow! This man really just guard countered me. I mean, good on you for realizing guard counters are kind of busted, but... Ow, because guard counters are kind of busted. Dude. So... When I came into this... Because I came into this game a little late compared to other people. I came in right as... I think it was like right as patch 1.04 or patch 1.05 dropped. I don't remember which. I think it might have been 1.04. I think. Also another putrid avatar. But... Oh. God, I'm gonna have to fight one of those things with these. Yikes. Well, we'll get to that when we get to that. But I came in a little late, and I had some friends who played it, and they were saying like, oh, katanas are the best, and katanas are amazing, and they're really overpowered, and yada yada yada. And I was also being told that this game was very similar to Dark Souls, and so I went in very falsely assuming that if I didn't know something, I could just fill in that gap of knowledge with what was to be in Dark Souls. And in Dark Souls, katanas were kind of bad. Because in this game, there is no durability. But in Dark Souls, there was. And normal durability was like 45 or 50. And great swords being the best weapon class had like 70. But katanas only had like 10 to 20. And each durability lasted like say 2 or 3 hits. It was like 1 to 3, I think. And so it was like if you took the max hits for that, which would be 3, and you combined it with the max durability, which was 20, it's like, ow. And you're seeing the lack of defense and also lack of speed that this challenge has. But like max, you'd get like 60 hits out of a katana. And I know people who defend katanas will be like, oh, well, I mean, there was a ring that you could get that slowed weapon durability degradation. And it's like, yeah, you got that halfway through the game in Orlando. And some people will be like, oh, well, you could get items. I mean, dying there is fine because we got the item. So I don't really care about that. But it's like, oh, you can use items to uh, repair your weapon without needing to set it at a bonfire. And it's like, yeah, but if a weapon class is so bad that you need consumable items to compensate for just how bad they are, it's like maybe they aren't super great. It's like you didn't need consumable items with great swords outside of Vestus, which every run needs, unless you're a god gamer. But like that would outside of that, I didn't really have any complaints with katanas. They were fine. And that one issue that I had with them being durability was taken away in this game. Also, traveler's clothes. That without it's Melania or Melena's set, just without the cloak that she has. But So it's like katanas are a lot better in this game. But everyone was telling me like, oh, they're great, and oh, strength builds are trash, garbage, unusable. But I really I really like strength builds. I don't tend to use them very often, but I really, really enjoy them. And so for my first run through Elden Ring, I used a strength run, and it was pretty good. And then for the second run, I used a katana run. And everyone was really hyping up katanas, talking about how they were the best weapon class and how they were amazing and incredible and super, super strong and all of this stuff. And when I used them, it was like, well, they're okay. I wouldn't say that they're anything special. Because, again, falsely came into Elden Ring assuming that any knowledge... I'm just gonna kamikaze this. Because I don't care to go through all of this. Ow. But that's what we came here for. So we got that. We're happy. But like katanas definitely aren't bad. They're a pretty decent weapon class. I just don't understand why people hype them up so much. Because again, they're pretty good. They're just not this like overwhelming dominant showing of power, of damage, of speed. Because from what I found, because again, I've used almost every weapon class. I've used every weapon class except for curved swords, which I'm purposely saving for the end, because they've also been hyped up a lot. Scythes, claws, and hammers. I know I'm using a hammer this run, but I'm not counting that because the hammer isn't the focus of the run. But I used every other weapon class. And what I found is good weapons tend to fall or tend to be good in 2 or 3 of 3 different categories. Category 1 being guard counters, which wasn't a thing in Dark Souls, to my knowledge. Ow. Again, this game does not like when I try to roll. And again, brand new controller. So you can't even blame it on that. Second, jump attacks. Jump attacks are so busted. Unless your character just doesn't turn. Or third, dual wielding. And something I was actually really surprised by, because again, came in falsely thinking I could just use the knowledge of Dark Souls. But something that I thought was that whips would be really bad because whips are really bad in Dark Souls. Whips were one of the most dominant weapon classes that I used. They were kind of nuts. They were really, really good. Specifically because they were good at dual wielding, they were good at jump attacks, especially dual wielding jump attacks, and they were usable on guard counters. And it's like, same with great swords. Great swords, again, being one of the best weapon classes in this game. They were good on all three. Wait a second to get her stamina back. But what I found is the best weapon classes were good on all three. Good weapon classes were good on two. Okay weapon classes were good on one. And then presumably bad weapon classes would be good on none of them. And the closest thing to a bad weapon class I found were axes. Well, I mean, axes and daggers. Which... daggers were good for dual wielding, but that's it. And so, really wasn't impressed by them. And axes were only really good with jump attacks. And I was originally going to do like an Apheli Lu run, and I was really excited for that. Because she dual wields these the Stormhawk axes, which you can get 2 in a single run. And I was originally going to do my axe run, and then in New Game Plus do an Apheli Lu run. Once I have both of the axes. And my personal favorite out of those 3 strategies is dual wielding. Really like dual wielding. And what I found was that dual wielding with axes is really, really bad. It's very slow and not very powerful, which sucked. And I was really disappointed, and it was enough to actually make me drop the Apheli Lu run as an option of what I was going to do, and I did a different run instead. But from what I've seen during my katana run, katanas are decent but not the best for dual wielding. They're decent but not great at jump attacks, and they're fine for guard counters. So it's like, they're a very serviceable weapon, just not the best. And I don't understand the hype around them. But considering dual wielding is my favorite, and from what I've seen, curved swords are really good at dual wielding, I'm really excited for that. And I cannot wait I cannot wait to do it. But there's a few more runs that I'm going to do before that. I don't really want to record any of them because no. But yeah,